It's about to say, hi, everybody. We're live. Happy October.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Questions That Need Answers. If you are joining us for the first time, Tay and I created this space to have candid conversations about our everyday experiences. If you would like to be the first to know about our lives and catch them when they start, please join us in two places, either on Facebook at Tay and Rena Live, or you can join us on YouTube at QTNA as well.
I'm trying.
Okay. Guys, let me know if you can see me because it's telling me that I have viewers, but I'm not seeing you at the bottom. Okay, there you go. Awesome. All right. I am one of your hosts, Serina Renee, and joining me shortly will be my girlfriend, Tavia. Thank you guys for coming back yet another week. Today, Tay and I actually had a topic, but this whole situation with voting and everything was really heavy on my heart. So I felt like it may be important for us to have a conversation about that today. So that's what we're doing. Hey, Tay.
Hey, Boo. I don't know if you're using a filter today.
I am.
Okay, because I'm like, you making me look real.
Listen.
Now I have to put on a filter.
I needed the filter today. It's been one of those days. I don't know why my headphones are not connecting with the phone, so we're going to try that again. But let's say hello to all of the viewers. We have a few new people in here today. Hi, Holly.
Hey, cousin.
Prince Zuko, that looks like my brother. I don't know.
You went out on Facebook. Where'd you go?
I don't know. Maybe because my AirPods keep trying to connect to the wrong phone.
All right, don't worry, Facebook and YouTube. You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it without it. Can you guys hear me okay on Instagram? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me on Instagram, Facebook. Let me know if you can hear me over there as well in the comments because the headphones aren't working with us today. So
it'd be like that. And I'm mic'less today, so here's my mic, and it's not plugged in.
Okay.
Hey, Tyra, that's my girl. Okay, so we're gonna need your help, girlfriend, because we are talking about. Pin this while I mention the topic, Rena.
Yes.
Do votes matter more in certain states? We are definitely gonna need your help, girlfriend, because she's like a little activist in these streets, and I'm saying little, I don't know why. She activist in these streets.
Right.
We're going to need her. So we have you want to go ahead and where this came from? Or
yes.
do we, wait. First, this is such a heavy topic.
This is a heavy topic. Okay, fine. What do you want me to sing?
I want you to sing like an East Coast song. I was on a trip with my girlfriends today, and they just ignored me when I was asking for G-Funk, something West Coast. Every day they ignored me. It was all East Coast. And so I'm like, hey, why not go for that? So I'm thinking,
you want me to go West Coast or East Coast?
I want you to go East Coast because I'm already in the zone now.
Okay. You got to give me something because today my brain is like.
I have Freeway in my head, and I have Mariah Carey in my head.
What songs? Give me specifics.
I have Mariah Carey Fantasy, and I have Freeway. Freeway is all right, come on. Do it.
Wind blowing in the background, you know what I'm saying, for the video when she was on the water.
Do it.
I can't hit that note, so we're going to bring it down a notch. Oh, when you walk by every night, talking sweet and looking fly, I get kind of hectic inside. Okay, y'all know I can't. Hey. Okay.
All right, that happened.
Good energy. Now.
Okay, we're ready. All right, so go ahead, Rena, jump into why you suggested this, because we were going to continue with the Entrepreneur Chronicles, but we thought Rena was like, you know what? Let's pivot, and I agree.
So this came up because lately I have been very torn when it comes to this whole voting situation. And I feel like the time that we're in right now is very important. It's like if we do it or if we don't do it, it could have a really big effect on the future of not only just our future but our children's as well. So I'm torn because half of me is okay, we gotta vote because shoot, it was for the first reason at one time we wasn't allowed to vote. So we need to exercise our vote, our voice to vote. So especially if we are sitting around complaining about the way that things are nowadays, I'm all about solutions. We can sit and talk about the problems all day, but what can we do to fix this? But then the other side of me is like, both of these candidates are shitty to me. What am I voting for? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like our generation right now, there are so many people who are voting just to get someone else out that they're not even paying attention to what the person that we're voting in is like representing. Like, how are they going to help us? So, you know, we got the older crowd that's like, well, you know, we're all doomed anyway, so don't vote. Then
who is this?
The crowd is like, no, we gotta fight. So I'm just like, I need to hear from y'all. Like, what do y'all think? Like, because I really feel torn right now. Okay, if we do vote for the other option besides Trump, which is Biden, what can we look forward to with that? It's like, what do we do? I feel like we're in a position like we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. But I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part to help. Like, we all have a part to play in the change that we're looking forward to bringing in. And I'm just trying to make sure that I'm doing my part. So I'm like, maybe we should have a conversation about this on the live and see how everybody else is feeling. Because every time we turn the TV, every commercial, I ain't never seen them advertise about voting so much in my life. But
well, no, that's every 4 years they get ridiculous with these ads. That's where most of the money goes when you donate to a campaign. I would say a lot of the money does go to ads. Otherwise, there's, you know, if there was no social media, they would go to newspapers. If there are no newspapers, it would go to billboards. And that's just, you know, that's what happens during election season. So I think that where you're coming from, I think it's kind of putting all your eggs in the basket. It's like, oh, the world's going to crap. It doesn't matter. The president does not change your life. So if it's not the end all be all, when you vote for the president, that doesn't mean you checked off your voting box and you come back in 4 years and you try again. Because I think that's what so many of us have done and put our eggs in this basket and been disappointed and been so sad and feel like the weight of the world is on them when they're voting for president. And really, I think you really need to, you know, take a step back and realize, like, voting for president is not going to like change everything, but it's a step. It's a step. And if you don't do it, there's so many things that can happen. And so I thought there was a couple things just to kind of like shed some light on a few areas of like how this whole voting system works, because I think we're confused. Because if you sit out on a vote, I don't want to hear shit. And I think it's really irresponsible, honestly, as adults to not vote. It's unless, I guess if you just don't care about anybody, you don't care about your kids, you don't care about your grandkids, you don't care that your ancestors fought for you to do this, you don't care about nothing, then I understand, don't vote. You just don't care about nothing. But for people who actually, like, you know, who want good or at least want things to work for them, then, you know, whether working for you means that the world is racist, and that gives you an upper step and helps your life be better because it's racist and it'll help your benefit. That's for you, and you should vote for whoever you feel will help your life. Never, or it doesn't matter. But I'm saying you're throwing your vote away if you don't, and that's, unpopular opinion, I guess. I don't know. I'm not saying people should be racist and should vote, but I understand that people are voting for what they feel is in their best interest, and some people's best interest is hate, and that's it.
Right. But and I think, you know, just to go back to what you were saying earlier, how you said that voting for the president isn't going to be the be all end all. It's not. There's a system that is in place on how these things work. And it kind of goes back to the live that we were doing. It's probably a couple months ago when all of this Black Lives Matter stuff was going on. And when it first started. And we were talking about how I think Obama had released a statement where he said, you know, all of you guys are upset about, you know, these officers that are not being, you know, held accountable and things like that. But y'all don't realize that you guys vote those people in. So even if you feel like you don't really have a say so as far as the presidential election goes, starting there is a more important place. You know what I'm saying? I think we only think of the presidential campaign when we think of voting, and we don't think of all the other times that we have to vote. Amy O'Donnell says Trump is a bigot and a racist, and he's making it okay for the racists to rear their ugly heads, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to get political with this. I mean, we're going to get political, but I don't want to get like partisan. Like, I think.
No, not necessarily. I wasn't even going to go too deep into that, but I was going to use that as an example when I say, as far as voting for the lesser of two evils, how do we fix that? Because getting Trump out of office isn't going to remove this group of people that we have that feel like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's deeper than that. Like,
I don't think that we're voting for the lesser of two evils. I really don't. I think, I mean, I don't think I mean, come on.
Okay, so why?
Because I think that human, like the president and, you know, the garbage man are just people. They're just people like us. They're just regular people. And I don't know. I don't know. I think that's like that's so much weight on that it's like, I just really hard for me when I'm like listening to things to call like Biden specifically evil. And that's for me. That's my personal. And that's it. I think we're going partisan here, and I think that's my personal opinion. And so if you disagree with me, that's okay. This is America, and you're allowed to do that.
Right.
And I support that. I support your decision to disagree with me. And that's fine.
Right. And just so you guys know, this is a open space. We are not in any way trying to influence you to vote for anybody. It's just that this is a topic and we decided to have it. And I think it's great for us to get a little bit more deeper of a deeper understanding on how this situation works. So just to go back to, the beginning, I think if we actually start with breaking down like how this works.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help.
Let's start there.
And I'm not going to say, I'm sorry, Bill, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, should we start with the electoral votes? Like, how should we start? This process.
So electoral vote of the Electoral College. So I want to say this, that I am not like a history or poli-sci. Like I self-study. I wanted to know, so I looked it up. Now I read it, and I'm not saying just now I looked it up. I'm not saying an hour ago. I'm saying like in life, I keep an eye on these things and I look it up and I read it, and so whatever. So I want to just point out that Michael T. Bland, he says you have to figure out what kind of voter you are and fight for your issues, and that's just being bold. It doesn't matter. Like, just figure out what type of voter you are, and then just go for it. He said it's not a spectator sport, and I agree with that. So that's just voting in general. So like, if you want to come on here and be crazy about and wave your flag for whoever you, just go back, because I'm not in the mood. Okay. So Electoral College. So pretty much what happens is that there's a thing called popular vote. And that is if there's 11 people voting and, 6 vote for Biden and 5 vote for Trump, then 6 people said then the popular vote is 6 votes, and I mean in general that's the popular vote, and then that person wins, right? That's what the popular vote is. That's not how it's ran in our country. There's a popular vote, but you can lose the popular vote and win the election, and this is because of the Electoral College. All right. The electoral, when you make your vote in your state, you're saying that you are voting for these certain people in the Electoral College. That's what you're voting for. Not necessarily, you're voting for the president, but you're voting for these people to vote for the president on your behalf. Right. And each state gets a certain amount of votes depending on your population and not depending on your land. So that means if you're in Texas and there's one person who lives in Texas doesn't have more electoral votes than say like a small state like New Jersey, who might have 2, just because they're a bigger state, like, physically it doesn't matter. So like, for example, DC has 3, and all the states have a certain number of electoral votes. So what I'm trying to say is you vote, and then it goes into a pot, and say your state says, okay, your state votes for Trump. And so now your state votes for Trump, and then your your numbers, say you have 10 electoral votes, the 10 votes go into the pot of the country. And if I could be wrong, because I haven't relooked at this in a while, but I think it's like if you get like 270
something like
votes, then you win.
So isn't it safe to say, to sum it up, that our votes influence the electoral how you say
yeah, the electoral college.
Electoral college. So
so each state has a number. Each state has a number,
right?
And you're voting to put, where are you going to put your number? Where's how many? So if your state has 10, and your state has 30, and your state has 50, if you are voting to where your 50, those 50 votes go. Now, here's the thing: this can be swayed based on any number. Some states can be one, right? Some states are blue, some states are red, some states are purple. Some states can be won by just like 400 votes, or 400 people just stay in the house. Now, this happened 4 times. I'll go there. But this happens with 400 people just stay in the house, or 2 people stay in the house. That means like 2 people per county or something. Decide they're not going to vote. Now, your state, since you didn't vote, the red, which is Trump, right? Because the Republicans are red and Democrats are blue. Red gets more. So that means your whole state gives all their votes to the Republicans. And now all the votes, even though it was just like a 400 point difference, that's why we all have to vote, because you can't count on it right that way. So I'm trying to explain this. If you don't understand, then you can ask me a question and I will go into detail and to answer your question. But so say that. So we agree that. Now, some states historically are Democratic and some states are historically Republican. So I would say, I think California is a blue state, which means it's a Democratic state. So if you want to run for president and you're a Democrat, you might not go visit California as much and try to convince Californians to vote for you, because you know they're a more liberal state. And so you're like, I'm not going to go there as much because I know they're going to vote blue. Now, some states are called battleground states, and those states they call them like swing states, or if you hear that they're purple, because red and blue together make purple. That means they can swing the election. So these states, if you're in these states, you need to vote, because your vote determines like the whole country. Like, say everybody in the country. Right. You're the tiebreaker. You are the tiebreaker.
Florida are 2 of them.
Ohio, I don't think Ohio, Florida, Michigan. I think it's like North Carolina, Arizona. These states. This is why I seen Obama in person like mad times, because I was in Ohio at the time, and he was showing up. He's like, vote for me.
Remember?
We went to school to see him. Look, in high school,
and we couldn't even vote. We were shy of 18 and couldn't even vote.
We could not vote in high school, and we were like, it was a little tiny thing about we was about to see president. It went right up there in the rain on us, girl. Oh, COVID friend, he was close. It was crazy. All right. So if you are in a swing state, you need to vote. Because think of it like this. Think of it. There's 3 votes in the country. Just think of it. Just imagine that there's 3, right? And one is going to be blue, and one is going to be red, and one is undetermined. That's a swing state. That's a swing state. And you're in Ohio. Now, Ohio, I want to say, is the pulse of the country. Almost most of the elections, the direction that Ohio votes as a state. The president that is being the president. So last election, Ohio said Trump for president, and Trump became president. Mm-hmm. And so every single vote matters, but specifically in these swing states, right? You don't vote in these swing states, and then you complain. I don't. You did it.
I think it's more so us getting in the mindset of not to only look at this presidential election. Every time that you have the opportunity to vote, you should be voting. Like, I had to even have a pep talk with myself, because I have specific shares, and they send me little stuff in the mail, and they're like, listen, we have something coming up and we need your vote. And my ass just was not paying attention to it. Like, I ain't got money sitting in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to exercise your vote at all times. That's the only way that we're going to be able to make any change, is for every single time that it's time for you to vote, whether it's local, whether it's on the state, whatever, you need to be voting.
Yeah, so think of it this way about voting local, voting presidential, or federal, whatever however you want to phrase it, right? So
you vote
for Trump to be president because you like America was great. You know, remember when they had slaves and Jim Crow? That was when it was great,
right?
All right.
So you want it
to be great.
You
vote for Trump. Mm-hmm. But you sit out of local elections,
right? And so that means you're not helping
Trump with his team.
Thank you.
Yes. So you left him on the playground standing there right by himself. No team. So if you vote local,
so say you vote let's take out the actual people, but you vote for
Martin Luther King
to be president.
You vote for Martin, right?
You vote for
Martin.
Then
you just left him hanging.
So
it's you made sure you didn't vote for Congress, you didn't vote for Congress, you didn't vote for senator, you didn't vote for your mayor, you didn't vote for nothing. So when Martin Luther King dream to come true, and he has to go talk to Congress,
and he has to go talk to Congress,
and you didn't
talk to the Senate,
and
you didn't help put anybody in there that supports him. Then he cannot get
he didn't get
a part of the problem.
Right? So then you're mad and you say, well, Martin was president and he didn't get nothing passed. That's because you showed up and waved for him for the presidential race. When it came
for the presidential race, but when it came to the small,
you're supposed to have his back later on.
You're supposed to have his back later on.
That's right. Michael Albor says, local, so important for change. That's very important. And you know what I just thought about too when you were saying that? Think about a presidential candidate, right? They don't just show up one day and say, hey, I'm going to run for president. No, 9 times out of 10, they've been senator before. They were somebody's mayor before. They were in these smaller positions before they got to being in this place. But
we have a few.
I
We've
had like a couple
did not do
all
that. But that means people have done something. They've usually done some shit. They've done
something.
But the thing is,
when you're gonna go back to the topic that you said, I feel like
people are saying that neither party has done things for Black people, and why do I need to vote? You're not doing anything for me, right? And the reason that let me say this, and I guess come to me will. The reason that neither party has, I'm not gonna say neither party. The reason that you might think that is true. Or I think it's true. Whomever thinks that's true. Because they're working within the confines of the system. And the system was not made for you and me to succeed. And so the system
needs to be changed.
And the way we can change the system is by making sure that we have the president back, voting in people locally that are on their team.
That's right.
And so systems
within your specific town can be changed when you vote for your mayor. And when you vote for your mayor, you're called their constituent.
So your mayor,
I live in a small town like in size. There's actually a lot of people
here, but it's small, right? So I do know the name of my mayor, and I know where to find him. I know how to call him. But can you call when's the last time you just called your president on the phone?
That's right.
Because your president's busy as fuck. All right? Your president has to do stuff for the whole country. Your president is not going to get the pothole on your street. Your president cannot change your, I'm not going to say cannot, is unlikely to change your specific police force rules.
Because that's not his job.
It's not his job.
He has people in place to handle those things, and you didn't vote them in.
You don't go to the janitor and ask the janitor to fix the computer, and you don't go to the computer guy and ask him why he is serving lunch.
Exactly.
Because that's not his job specifically. So if you go and you vote for these people, like your mayor helps with their police force. They make rules.
Absolutely.
There's rules.
And I can tell you each specific thing that your specific mayor does. Because though we are the United States of America, we are united physically. Your state and your town makes whatever rules they feel like fucking making.
That's right.
So you cannot. This is why with COVID, that each state was able under the law to make its own rules.
Right.
Even though many of us thought there should be a federal guidance on
that's not how it works.
It can work
that way.
Work like that. And I personally think that if we came together and unified and all the states did a certain thing for a while, then maybe we wouldn't be in such a tough situation where we are.
Right.
But we have the rights. The states do have the right to make their own rules. Which is why you can smoke weed in Denver, in California, in Colorado. But maybe that might be illegal in Louisiana.
Right.
It could be. I don't know.
I'm so glad that we are having this conversation. And by the way, Michael Albert says, "Love the conversation. Great job, ladies." Miss JNT says, "Great analogy." It seems like everybody is on the same page with this, but I am so glad that we're having this conversation because I'm even learning something with us talking this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really was sitting here stuck, like, because, like I said, I have two different sides that coming at me right now. I know how I feel as a millennial, and I'm like, no, we gotta fight. It don't matter if we're doomed, we still gotta fight to the end. Like, you know what I mean? But then it's like when I talk to a lot of my older, like, family members and things like that, they're just like, well, what you voting for? Like they ain't never did nothing for you. And I'm like, that mentality is not going to change.
The vote is not for them. The vote is for you. The vote is literally for you.
Right.
Like literally, you can call, like, go back to your local. You can call your mayor, like, I'm one of your constituents. I'm a person who voted for you. And you said you were going to do this.
Right.
And I want this done.
Perfect example. When all of that stuff happened with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, what did they tell y'all to do? Call your local mayor, leave a message, and tell them to handle this case. Tell them to push these charges. They didn't tell you to call your president. They didn't tell you to call all these people. They said, this is the number, call your local mayor to handle this situation. And that right there is the perfect example of how this stuff works.
So what we want from our president... this is making my lips look bad. What we kind of want for our president, I think, in that situation was decorum to help guide the country in, I guess, emotionally, because I can all speak and say that we do all know someone who just follows. At work, the boss said, do this is what we do, so we're going to jump off this building cliff right now because I don't care. They said wash it this way. I know it's wash it off, but these are the rules. Some people don't necessarily think for themselves.
That's right.
And so you kind of want to have somebody, in my opinion, that is going to be able to speak to the country in a way where it's like compassion, empathy.
Right.
Things like that. Some people don't think for themselves. I mean, that's not their job to decide for themselves.
And the thing is and I just want you guys to know that are tuned in with us right now when we say that, like, a lot of people don't speak for themselves. Like, that's a mentality. Think for themselves. That's a mentality that has been taught to us. So don't ever think that we're saying it in a way where it's like, y'all need to think for y'all. We're not coming from you like that. I'm being vulnerable even to tell you right now in this video, the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because I didn't feel like I was making the choice for myself. I felt like I was listening to my parents, listening to my friends, and okay, well, I'm going to just do whatever. No, I'm not that type of individual. I had to literally stop. I said, let me get some more information on how this is really working so that I can make sure that I'm making the right decision, because we have children right underneath us that are coming up, and the world is already in enough of a shit show as it is now. Us talking about the way that it is and complaining is not going to come up with a solution. It's not going to change the narrative. So go ahead.
I do think I will say specifically for some Black issues, I think that, and I'm speaking for myself here,
at least from my experience, I think a lot of Black people, I speak for myself, we kind of thought that everyone knew.
We were already tired of
this shit.
It was normal almost
to us, sadly, and we were not surprised.
And we weren't. I cannot say we weren't complaining anymore. Or we weren't saying stuff. But I'm saying people, there's people who like decide that now. I don't talk political. I don't like on social. Right. Who decide who like, oh my God, like I'm tired of this. Like this is crazy. And then that's when more ears were like, Serina doesn't really say anything about stuff like this. This is a big deal. Right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I just wanted to say like we hear each other. You hear each other's issues more, I guess, when there are complaints. But I just want to think that there should be action behind.
Right. Maybe more conversations like this, like not necessarily complaining. Let's acknowledge. Okay, we got to have some acknowledgement. This is what it is. Nobody's saying you have to accept it, but this is what we're dealing with right now. Now that we know the issue, let's talk about a solution. I think we have to stop and I'm not saying that the complaints are not valid, but the only way to change something is to come up with a solution. Two negatives don't make a positive. So, they
do though.
Okay, in science you do. You're right.
In math, that's
okay.
All right.
I want to read this comment.
Situation, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna help. Okay? Don't judge me today. It's been a long day.
Michael Albor here. He said they try so hard to get people not to vote, thinking nothing will change. We can't let them win. I want to say something really quick because my friend Michael, I was on the phone with before, literally said similar. And this is not the same Michael. It's like, you guys want something? He said, if your vote doesn't matter, why do they work so hard to take it away from you?
Absolutely. And I heard him say that on the phone, and it was like a light bulb went up in my head, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm like,
it's like if you weren't so great, why they work so hard to push you down to make sure you can't do stuff? You're like, hold on. It's like when I get pushed back with ideas or something I'm working in my business, I'm like, I get a lot of stuff like my kids wake up, this happens. I'm like, oh shoot. I might be doing something. Like when that happens, and so I think that takes us into like, what do you mean? So what if someone says like, what do you mean it's trying to stop me? I can go out here and vote if I want to. If I don't want to, I have that. That's what they're trying to do to stop you. Let me tell you.
It's a mental thing to where you're going to talk yourself out of getting down there.
No, but it's beyond mental, Serina. It's beyond mental. Okay, it's not. It's something called voter suppression. What does that mean, guys? What does that mean? So these are
share with the class.
Let me share. Look here on the bulletin board. These are different tactics that historically, let me not even say that. These are different tactics that people use to get you to not vote. Maybe they say that you need to be able to pass a test before you can get your ballot. Or maybe just to start, you need to be a white man. Let's just start there, right? But then it was like, okay, now you can be a white woman and vote. And then, now you can be a black. No, I think you were a black man and voted. Then I think you could be a white woman. And then I think you could be just
were the women the last? Oh, see, I got to get back into my history. I can't remember.
And I guess I'm not a historian. Voter suppression, right? Because they know, right? If you can vote, you're going to probably vote in your interest because that's what people do. They vote for stuff they support. And then if more people vote for that stuff they support, they know the people who they're suppressing often are against, what they're not on their side. So you don't want people on your side to vote. You try to stop them from playing the game. Like, we want to stop the game. So, for instance, in Ohio right now, right now in 2020. I believe it's a senator who has decreased the times. Oh, there we go, Laura. White man, black man, then all women. Okay. She knows. Oh, she really does. That's Mike's wife.
Hi, Mike's wife.
Hey, best friend. So they don't want you to vote, and so right now in Ohio, for some, I don't know how this happened, but I don't know how this happened, right? Because I do know that states are allowed. Mike told me this, I wasn't sure. States are allowed to decide the voting rules per state, the eligibility. In Ohio, swing state, a state that has historically determined the election, who won president. This Republican senator has now said, if you are in this county, you only can vote from between, 8 to 4 on weekdays. But if you are in this county, you can vote from 6 a.m. to midnight. Now, those are just made-up numbers right there. And I'm saying what I'm trying to express is decreasing the amount of time you can vote in certain counties and increasing the amount of time you can vote in other counties. And darn it, if you believe that the decreased times are all Democratic counties. Oh, and the increased times are and he's a Republican. And so we're like, well, how did that happen? And so, right, I'm here because I was like, when I learned this, I said, oh. You think so? The thing is, you're scared, right? You're like, what can I do to make sure these people don't go vote Democrat? Because you know Ohio is a swing state, and Ohio determines. I mean, a lot of times, I don't can give you the amount of numbers. Say it's like air. I can't give you the exact number. But often determines. Often determines. Am I echoing?
It's because I had to take the mic out of our stream on Facebook and YouTube because my phone was about to die. And
it's always.
Oh, girl. Let's see if the headphones will let me. Oh, let's see if the headphones will actually, connect to the right phone this time.
So,
I might be able to fix that.
This is J&T, but we are out here voting in large numbers, lines wrapped around the building. Thank you. I'm assuming you're talking about you're out here in Ohio. Thank you, Ohioans.
Yeah.
Laura says also hit on how voting for representatives reflects the makeup of the Supreme Court, which for women is so important right now. I don't even know if I need to even. Oh, I was like, Serina, looked like your hair was wrapped for a second. Hold up. I don't know that there's even more details in that. Like, you need to vote for your state representatives. This goes down to, like, when you get your ballot. I hope that you don't just check off. Check off which president you want, and then you just send it in and you move it on.
Really quick, Tay, keep going. I'm going to try to fix my headphones, so it might bring me out for a second, but go ahead.
Also, I want to share that when you vote locally, that doesn't just happen like it's not every 4 years. Like, there's different, like, for board of education, like the person who makes a decision about schools, and if we're going to go to school while there's a pandemic. This is a okay, on Facebook, you looking crazy. I only can see the top of your head on Facebook.
I think
that's like an annual that happens every year. But sometimes some of the elections are, every 2 years, like, depend on the terms that people can hold. So it's not just like, that's why they're saying voting locally. You're like, okay, I voted locally in 2020, but like, we mean like, okay, in 2021 and 2022. Like, throughout, help if you want that person to be president, then help build their team is what we're saying.
Right.
I think like,
did you
I don't know. I wonder if
comment that you did, right?
Yeah, that was Laura. I wonder if there's anything else. Like, does anyone? Like I said, sis is not a poli-sci major. I'm just a person who wanted to know how my country works. That's all.
Right. And if you guys have any information that you know to be accurate, please drop it in the live. We're trying to spread as much accurate information as we can to help our voters out, to help people to understand how all of this works, and to encourage people to use their voice. So if you guys have any more information, hint, Miss Laura, Miss Political, could you please give us some more information if you have it? Because this was awesome. Like, this really, really, really opened up my eyes to like a lot, and I feel like just having this conversation just helped to give me so much more understanding, and now I feel more grounded on the decision that I'm making. Like, you know, I feel like I do have a voice. You're right. Why do they try to suppress it so much if it's not important? So I'm going to use it.
Use your voice, girl. Use your voice. Feel empowered. Yeah, so if you are 18, get out there and stop playing. Or, you know, if you 80, get out there and stop playing. My grandma is what, 99? She voting.
Okay. Every day I got new information about it. I'm about to just go ahead and take care of it so he can leave me alone. But
if you're not sure,
I'm getting so many text messages and calls. I don't even know how these people even be getting my number. But boy, they not playing. You sure you registered? This is such and such from such and such, and make sure you vote. I'm like, girl, every day it's like,
yeah. What I think it's like vote.org or something. You can figure out like if you're registered or not to vote, and like where you have to be registered at where you live. So if you registered to vote and you moved, you need to like update, you know, stuff like that. I can't tell you like if you can still register, because I just know I made sure I was registered. And
yeah, make sure y'all take care of that.
Yeah.
I think we beat.
Wait, yeah, I think we did. I mean, I think we really said it. Oh, shout out.
Yes. Okay, you want to do it?
Go ahead, boo.
Both singing at the same time. All right, TB Sweet says, my niece, 19 years old, just voted in her first presidential election today. Shout out to your niece. Snaps for niece.
We here for you, girl.
Congratulate her.
So the question
for exercising her.
The question is, does your vote matter more in certain states? Yes and no, right? Because yes, it does if you're in like a swing state, right? That's been very important. Stop playing. That means like it's a chance.
Right.
It's a
right.
You can go 51% people vote, 49%. Like what's going on, right? But also don't think just because your state is a blue state or a red state and you think everybody's good, right? I'm in Florida. My state's a red state. I'm good. They're going Republican. And if everyone thinks that, what happens? And the Democrats all show up and you don't show up. It's a blue state.
It's going overnight, okay?
Right. So if you got your ballots in the mail, get those ballots in, because you've heard all this crazy, even the voter suppression they're talking about with the post office, like get your either show up and vote, or however you look it up on your state. How do you vote? Right. You have to vote.
Make sure y'all get out there, y'all.
Registration deadlines. You about to list them, or you just telling me that that I should talk about that?
I can look at them on my computer really quick before we go and let you know. Unless she's gonna post them. Registration deadline.
Oh, registration deadline. New Jersey deadline is tomorrow.
Okay.
So if
you guys would like to know what your deadline is on the live, can you guys let me know exactly where you are located, and I will look them up on the computer really quick and make sure you guys know. So again, I see we have 2 people who just joined. Hello and welcome. We are talking about voting. If you guys, we're to the end of our live, but if you guys need to know what your deadline is for your state, let me know so I can look it up really quick. And if we just so happen to not get it on this live, y'all need to make sure y'all look up the information on y'all's own too and figure it out.
Because literally tomorrow is the deadline for registration. So that means that's another step, right? So they're saying, I mean, you can consider that whatever you want to consider that. They're saying if you don't register by tomorrow in October, when November comes, you cannot vote. Sorry. That's right. It. So don't be out here. Right. Okay. If you went to a march or a protest, anything this year, and you also don't show up at the polls, and or if you don't show up, I mean, if you don't vote. So if you physically don't show up, that's none of my business. Whatever. But I'm saying if you don't vote, we don't it doesn't make sense, folks. It just don't make sense. Just that's all. I'm not gonna double down on that again. Yeah. It don't make sense.
All right, y'all. Just real quick before we go, I'm gonna go with what my spirit is telling me. I don't see nobody that dropped it right now, but I know South Carolina here. I know a few names in here. I see South Carolina. It says online 30 days before the election, in person 30 days before the election. Y'all need actual dates. Why they ain't giving me dates? They only telling me how many days before the election. Come on now, vote.org.
I want dates.
Give me some dates.
Oh my gosh.
Your phone keeps I can't hear the sound anymore on Instagram, boo.
You can't hear me?
Can y'all hear Tavia?
Can you see me? I don't know. Can y'all hear us? Okay, this is a sign that we really, this is voter suppression. This is voter suppression.
Guys, I'm not sure what's happening. Tavia's mouth is moving on both. Okay, it sounds like you said, I want the dates.
No, you can't hear me at all? What's funny?
Yes, this is voter suppression. They heard us talking about it, so they kind of cut the connection. No, all we heard was this is voter suppression. That was funny.
Look, well, hey, I can hear you fine. Look, all I'm saying.
We couldn't hear you, but now I can hear you.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Y'all can't hear me. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
There we go. Now we can hear you.
Oh, now you can hear me. I said, as soon as I said I was gonna leave, the voter suppressors, they let me back in. Hello?
Are you back?
I'm back.
Are you back, or do you need to step out?
I'm okay. All right, y'all.
It's a little delayed. Look, okay, Akila. They don't want us informing the people, okay? We was just talking about voter suppression. There it go, right there. Okay, y'all, she coming right back. Come on, Tay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my God, they trying to suppress us. They trying to suppress us. Oh my God.
Marie just said. She said they don't want you to inform the people.
Oh my goodness. All right, people. So we don't want to promote for our business spotlight this week. We don't want to promote anybody. We want to just tell your ass.
Promote your vote.
That's a thing. Promote your vote. We want you to make sure that you are registered. Make sure you are registered to vote. Like, just as soon as we get off of here, matter of fact, you can leave now. Okay, we really want you to vote. Like, just go and make sure if you don't know, just go check right now. Okay, just leave, go right now because this is crazy.
Yes.
Also, shout out. We're not gonna do any self promotion today. Nothing. Okay.
No.
Like, y'all know what we do. You know where to find us.
Right.
We don't want to give you too many steps. Okay. The call to action here is to make sure you are registered to vote.
And I believe the website is vote.gov.
Is that it?
I don't know. Maybe. Let's see.
There's a place to check. And all you just put in your birthday and your name, and then they'll tell you if you're registered to vote and where. And yes, I did.
I think it's vote.org.
Vote.org.
Yeah. Vote.org.
Yeah. So
you have officially 21 days, 6 hours, 31 minutes, and 56 seconds left until election day.
Okay.
Get your stuff together, sis. I don't want to hear no posts about whose life matters and who ain't did what and how these cases wasn't closed properly and all of this stuff if you didn't go out there and vote. Now, if you voted and it's still going on, and that's another.
Listen. If you vote, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you vote and it don't go your way, what's the answer? Remember I said if once you vote, you got to start voting locally to load up your president's team?
That's right.
You vote locally to load up the team for your party or for your beliefs. So then the current person can't make shit happen.
And let me just say this too. A lot of y'all are supposed to be in these positions. Okay.
If you feel the calling.
But you're too busy listening to everybody else telling you about how sick politics and all of that stuff is. How are we gonna get it unsick? How are we gonna fix it? By getting the right people in there, right? Some of y'all have voices and have callings to hold some of these positions. You're supposed to be the mayor. You're supposed to be the next senator. You're supposed to be the next chief or Supreme Court, you know what I'm saying, judge. You need to start tapping into self and going forward with that purpose of your life. We need y'all in office. Yeah, now it ain't gonna be me, but I'm just saying. Some of y'all need to take that calling on your life and go ahead and step into your greatness. We need y'all in office to make these changes.
And if you feel like that's you, I do know an organization that will back you up and help support you financially. Not your bills and stuff, but like your campaign. I feel like folks be trying to find a hustle in anything. They like, oh, they're going to support me. No.
Why not?
Not like that. Not like that. Yes. So get out there, y'all. That's all we want to say. We want to remind you to stop playing in these streets, stop complaining in these streets, and get out there and vote in these streets. Okay.
Make a difference. Don't just complain. Actually be part of the solutions. So.
Yes. Vote for what you feel is right.
That's right. And that's on period.
On period. Because my mama wouldn't kill me if I said on my mama.
All right, it's time for us to get over here.
Bye, guys. See you next week, 5:30 Monday. Same time, same place.
Later.